Happy Spooktober. Um, I haven't done much in a while. I know that. At least you haven't seen anything. But I have actually been working really hard to get some stuff done. And I've been through the biggest streak of crashes I've ever had. Like, I always complain about crashing, you know it's always happening, but, recently it has been absolutely atrocious. In the past 2 weeks alone, 6 projects have crashed. Only one of which was it wasn't that finished. All the rest of them were at least like halfway there. So I have lost hours and hours of progress. And so this video is going to be a bit of a downer at first, because I'm going to say this. I think I'm going to have to stop trying to keep pushing my music for a bit. Because first of all, I'm in sixth form now, and I've got to deal with that. And it's kind of hard to fit my music in sometimes. When it's easy to fit in, I'll fit it in, but when it's not, then I'm not going to try to. And second of all, I think the frequent crashing might be something to do with the new bases I'm trying to make, because all of these new these projects that have crashed have crashed, but they've also had this certain type of base in it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a base type I've been making a lot of lately. It first showed up in my Gangplank Galleon remix when I first managed to make it, and I've been trying to keep on making stuff like that, and I have been succeeding, but every time I've succeeded, the project it was on has crashed. So what I'm on about is the granulizer vocoder bases. So one very effective way I found to get a really nice kind of serum sounding bass that's very unique but also very intense and nice is to get a percussion sample, or really a sample of anything, put it into a granulizer, mess with the grain spacing and wave spacing, pitch it, and vocode it to a just generic Harmer bass. Sometimes it's literally just a saw, sometimes it's a Reese. Very occasionally I vocode it to a Citrus, but I don't do that as much. Though sometimes I do it to the generic kind of scream bass, you know, the oh, that sounded terrible because I can't do it, but you know what I'm on about. And that works really well. But yeah, it's a really good sound, but I think that might be what is making it so hard for me to get these to not crash. I have 3 things to show you out of the 6, because I didn't record them all, and one of them I just don't think is that good. So, first of all, there was a couple times I tried to do some glitch hop, and I'm going to show you that now. It was kind of honestly closer to dubstep than glitch hop, but I was trying to make it glitch hop. This first one is quite close to it, though. So, this is the first thing that crashed in this line of really annoying crashes recently. Luckily, I'd only just started the drop here. But I worked a lot on this intro, like I did more than usual on this intro. It's very complex. I literally just loaded these up, like, all the things I'm about to play you, I loaded them up, like, 2 seconds ago, because I thought, before I start recording it, I just thought, oh, that way they'll load up quicker when I want to open them again. The rest of it is just this drum loop and that ARP, so not to bother playing the rest. So yeah, there was that. Then I did another one where I started from the drop, and this one, I decided to do a kind of 2-part drop, because I started making this, and I made loads and loads and loads of different basses, and they all had their own unique values, but some were way better than others. And so what I decided to do is I decided to have one half where I have everything there and it's really complex, but it's like less satisfying, and then one part where they come back like the really good basses and they'd be very predominant. So it was a lot easier to follow, but less complex. And I thought the less complex part, I thought that was actually the better part. And sadly, I lost that part. So great. So I've only got the part that I don't like as much, but at least this has the more synths, so you understand how much more work has gone into it. You really can't tell, which is a shame because it sounds really nice, but right at the end you could hear there's a bit of a violin coming in there. There is actually a violin vocoded to a Mega Drive bass, you know, the kind of like plucky one. You know the one I'm on about. It's it's the Mega Drive bass, the one everyone uses, and it had a very interesting kind of sound. It's a shame you can't really hear it too much there. I was planning to bring it back later, much clearer and more predominant, but obviously that didn't get to happen. So yeah, and when I said the better basses, I mainly meant that that I pitched that up, and it sounded really good. And sadly, I lost it. And then there's so far the biggest one I've lost, which I was going to do a big Halloween project, and I'd say this is probably, maybe the one in that I was just on about was better, but this is probably my best granulizer bass. This sounds so good, and luckily I did get the bass still in there. It needs to be mastered a little bit better. I started mastering in this draft, and this audio file, there's nothing in it, it's empty, because I actually had it crash in a way I've never seen before. So when I tried to export this the second time, on my second draft, the screen did that thing where everything goes blur and it just shows a screenshot of what your project is rather than your project, which usually happens when it's about to crash. So I had a heart attack and I clicked the screen, which usually leads it to say it's not responding and then closes itself. But when I clicked the screen, it actually fixed itself instantly. After I'd been waiting 15 minutes for it to do something, I just clicked it and boom, everything's fixed. So I thought, oh, okay, I'm fine. And then, with this draft, the same thing happened. I thought, okay, I should just click the screen. The project just died. Like, it didn't even come up with it's not responding. It literally closed itself down. So yeah, both of these happen while exporting, which I've never had happen before. So I can't really play around these issues. Because, like, usually projects only crashed when I was playing a very laggy sound while also working on a synth. Like, if I was test playing something complex and I'm also working on a synth at the same time, it doesn't like that usually, and that's the only way it usually crashes, so I can just not test play a complex synth while working on something, but there I didn't do anything and it just kind of went. Anyway, I do have some of this though. I lost the intro and the bridge which I'd made, which I was really proud of, but So yeah, that was really close to being finished on that third draft. I just needed to make an ending, mix up the modulation for that part, and add one extra synth for the second drop, and I lost it sadly.